everybody. Welcome aboard. Welcome to DC Outdoors. It's the end of May. I haven't done a live stream now in a little bit, so I figured I'd pop online and chat with you guys for a little bit. But I think the last one of these I did was back in April, so it's been a little bit. So figured we'd pop online, kind of chat to you a little bit about what's going on with myself and what's kind of new. And yeah, we'll kind of talk through that sort of stuff. As usual, we'll treat this as a watch and grow event as well. So if you want to share out your link, you can use the hashtag new friend to share out your channel link. And I will encourage you to all take some time to connect with each other. Yeah, though, again, though, if this was your first time here, though, please hit that like button. And if you just stumbled upon this live feed, it is your first time checking my channel out, I would really appreciate it if you did, hit that subscribe and that bell notification button, so that way you don't miss anything. So anyways, yeah, I don't really have a super rich agenda for the night, but hopefully we can kind of field any questions that you might have. Like I said, we'll share with you a little bit of some of the fun stuff that we have been up to, and we'll also spend a little bit of time, like I said, connecting with some other channels, sharing some channels out, and everything that kind of goes along with that. So I'm looking forward to a fun evening. I'll probably spend, maybe an hour and a bit here. So we'll kind of see how the evening goes. But like I said, we'll probably spend a little bit of time here tonight, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But I am checking out the chat. Oh, hey, Joe, I didn't even notice. So the new friend, hashtag new friend. Oh, there it is working. Awesome. Nice to see you in the house, Joe. I hope that everything is going out well your way. Um, it is a thunderstormy kind of evening here, so I just went outside real quick and could see some thunder clouds on the way and hear a little bit of a rumbling in the distance. So might get a little bit of a thunderstorm here tonight, but as you guys probably know or may have heard about, the fire situation in Alberta has been out of control over the last few months, really. And so having a little bit of rain is a good thing, but along with thunderstorms, that always makes me a little bit nervous too, right? So the lightning can kind of create its own problems on its own, but we're hoping for some more rain. It's been a little bit rainier here lately. I think we had over 100 fires burning, and I am certain my kids were telling me that we're down to about like 88, which is still a lot of fires burning in the province. But yeah, we're definitely hoping that we get some more rain to get these things under control. Um, there were definitely a lot of people in the province who have been on evacuation notice or kind of have been evacuated, and so it's definitely a pretty scary time. But again, we've gotten a little bit of rain here over the last few weeks, so things are starting to get a little bit better under control, right? But we could still use a lot more moisture as far as I'm concerned. Hey, Den, thanks for checking in. Appreciate you dropping in this evening. Hopefully you're doing well. I was just saying off the top, I haven't done a live stream in a while. I think the last one of these I did was when I was camping. So back at Easter time, I did a live stream from the campfire, but I don't think I've done one of these. I don't think I did any of these in a while. Like I said, the last one was April 15th or 14th or something like that. So good to get one in for May. We've been, doing a little bit of fishing, as the last few videos have kind of told you. So we've been doing some fishing out in the river. But we've been busy as well on vacation. So we actually went down to Montana and spent a few nights down in Whitefish between the 20th and 24th. So went down to Montana, spent some time in Whitefish, like I said. We did a lot of fishing. So I'm going to have a few cool fishing videos coming up. Tomorrow's video, just as a little spoiler, or I guess a teaser. We actually went out on my first ever guided fishing trip. So we went out on Lake Whitefish, or Whitefish Lake, I guess I should say, with a guiding outfit based down there. And they took me and my wife and the kids out on the boat for, I think we were out there for 5 hours, from 1 o'clock till 6 or something like that. and we were out looking for lake whitefish and lake trout. So I have a video coming up tomorrow where we finally got some fish. So I think you guys will like that one. And we also did some fishing in a little pond by where we were staying. And it was really fun because that pond was a stock pond, but had brook trout in it, or no, sorry, brown trout, and it had some bluegill. So kind of fun that the kids and I were able to play around with catching some species that we don't have here at home. So we don't have bluegill here. So we're able to catch the first of those and got my first brown trout too, which is lots of fun. So the next few videos, you're going to see some fishing videos from Montana, which is very different for my channel. And then just this past weekend, me and my boys went and did an overnighter. We have a property that we're members for of a conservation group. And the conservation group has, like I said, a large range, a shooting range property. So there's various like rimfire 22 ranges, centerfire ranges, shotgun ranges, archery range. There's a black powder trail. There's a archery 3D trail. There's a fish pond, which is out of stock, not in service this year because the beavers have ruined it. And then there's 17 unserviced campsites, I guess, there too. So the boys and I went out this past weekend and spent a night out there, and we shot some archery and 22s and pellet gun and 30-30 and all sorts of different stuff. So we had a lot of fun out there punking around, and we did an overnighter there. So it's lots and lots of fun. And so that video is kind of in the hopper as well. So well, got a lot of fun stuff coming up here, guys. We've been pretty busy, and I'm excited to share some of those trips with you. I'm going to pause for a second, just take a peek at the chat. I just want to remind everybody that you can type in the hashtag new friend, and what that will do is it'll share out your link. And I definitely do encourage you guys, if you see some folks in the house that you haven't connected with before, I encourage you to go check out their channel links. As always with these sorts of things, if you just click in and click subscribe and then leave, often it won't actually let your friendship with that person stick. So I encourage you to actually go over to that channel, watch a video or two, like a video or two, even leave a comment saying that we connected here through DC Outdoors. And the benefit of that is, even if you leave a comment and the subscription sometimes disappears, at least the comment will help track that connection down. So anyways, catching up here on some of the comments, I see Outdoors with Den is in the house and just doing our best. So thank you, just doing our best. I know that you were really helping grind out my playlist and help me out with some of that watch time. So I really appreciate you leaning in and supporting me with that one. We're getting closer to the 4,000 watch hour goals, but I'm not there yet. But thank you guys, for supporting me. MarkKratzMC, thank you for dropping in. It's good to see you as well, my friend. Just doing our best is great. I would love to see the fish you caught. Yeah, it's nice to actually catch some fish. My last few outdoor adventures, as you guys probably know, I've been skunked on the river. So it was a lot of fun getting out there with the charter, and our guide was great. It started out to be a slow day because we were actually there during a little bit of a rainstorm. So I think that maybe that pressure change might have affected the fish a little bit. But our guide was awesome. He really stuck with it. We tried jigging and trolling and different spots on the lake. And like I said, he just stuck with it until we had a lot of fun and got on some fish. So that was a lot of fun. And then the little fish pond we fished, that was great. I still haven't put together that video, but there were so many fish in there. And they were swimming so close to the clear water, to the surface, that we could see them swimming around. So the boys had a lot of fun. Like I said, catching those little brown trout and those bluegill. You could see them surfacing, kind of hitting the line. It was awesome there. And like I said, got my first brown trout, which was cool, and was able to catch those fish on spinners and rapalas, which I don't tend to use here at home very much. So a lot of fun fishing trips coming up here soon too. Just doing our best says, I have to admit, I have only done saltwater fishing. What fish would you recommend? Anything but catfish. So here in Alberta, where I am, in Alberta, Canada, a lot of what we have, I mean, obviously we don't have saltwater fishing. So for freshwater fishing, the common species are northern pike, and we have a lot of walleye. So we have pike, walleye, perch. And then there are some trout as well. A lot of the trout around this area are stocked, so we tend to get a lot of stocked rainbow trout. But certainly out in the mountain areas, you will find some browns and stuff like that. I like fishing a lot for pike and walleye. They're my favorite two here. Pike are really fun fighters, and walleye are just so good to eat. So I like fishing for both pike and walleye. But I'll have to tell you that, like I said, in the video that come out tomorrow, I was able to catch my first ever lake trout. And so we were catching some lake trout out there on Whitefish Lake. And my son got a really, really, really nice lake whitefish. So you'll definitely want to check out that video too. But we had a lot of fun. And then, like I said, that little pond, they had bluegill and brook trout, which were also fun to catch too. Little stock pond, which was tons of fun. But anything but catfish is funny. We also have burbot here in Alberta, which is like a freshwater, kind of like a freshwater lingcod, I guess, if you will. They're bottom feeder like your catfish, but they're really good eaters, and they don't have a lot of the like little pin bones and Y bones and stuff like that. So it definitely makes it a better piece of meat. Mark saying hi to Shirley. Just watched your barbecue chicken video. Yummy. Yeah, watching food videos always gets me, right, Mark, because I get hungry watching those videos myself. So definitely don't want to watch those videos at dinner time. Nightbot is in the house sharing out the links for us, so that's awesome. So Nightbot is sharing out Just Doing Our Best links. So definitely check out Just Doing Our Best. Hey, it's Drunken Chef Barbecue. Good to see you, my friend. Nice to see you tapping in. I really appreciate your support. Just Doing Our Best is saying hi to Chef. Outdoors with Den. So you guys might know his channel as Den's Outdoors, but recently changed to Outdoors with Den. So, like I said, if you haven't connected with Den, you can definitely visit out his link. And there's Nightbot sharing it out. There's a reason it's called fishing. Otherwise, it would be called catching. Absolutely. I just like being out, right? Mark, you know that, man. I just like spending my time outside, hanging out and enjoying the outdoors. And if we're lucky enough to catch some fish, perfect. That's like a nice bonus. But it's all about just spending time outdoors for me. My good friend Mike Crasher, nice to see you. Thank you for dropping in, sir. I really appreciate you tapping in. One other thing I should probably do that I didn't do earlier is I am going to also copy the link. And if anybody does want to jump up and chat with me, you're certainly more than welcome to do so. So I'm going to drop the link here to the StreamYard place. And of course, I'm only going to allow folks onto the panel that I know and trust. But I did drop the link there if anyone wants to tap in and say hello and kind of chat along with me. Nice to see you tapping in, Eagles Trekker. Good to see you. I agree with you. Fishing is a lot of fun. And just a thing too here, guys, like if you are connecting with other channels, I do just want to recommend, of course, that you guys click on someone's video, watch it for a few seconds, longer if you can, watch it for a few minutes, like the video, leave a comment. All those things will make sure that friendship actually sticks, right? Otherwise, what I've seen is, folks will meet new friends, rapid fire, add them. And, if you're not watching the videos, if you're not liking a video or two, if you're not leaving a comment, it just won't stick. It'll just fade away. So I please encourage you guys to do that if you're making those connections. I don't know why I'm getting phone calls here. Sorry for the interruption. Just catching up with some of the comments. I'm doing some gardening. Gave a shooting lesson to a friend, and his 11-year-old son gave the kid a drone I just reviewed. That's awesome, Mark. I love spending time, teaching the littles how to shoot. It's a blast. We went out, like I was saying there earlier, to that range property, and my older son, he is 12. He's 11 turning 12. 11 turning 12. and he can legally hunt deer this fall in Alberta, which is crazy for me to think he's getting old enough to do that. Um, but yeah, he was out with the 30-30 trying to feel comfortable shooting it because that's what I think he's going to be using for deer season this fall. But yeah, we shot a lot of shots through the 22. We went and shot some arrows. We had some fun shooting some clays on stationary targets, but also threw some clays up in the air and gave them a try too. And yeah, man, had a lot of fun at the range. It's just so fun to get out there and do some shooting. I hear Mike Crasher Reviews has some banging vids. Absolutely, Mike Crasher, you do got some banging vids, bro. Always eating good stuff, reviewing good food, and having a good time doing it. Looking sharp as a whip while he reviews those MREs, which is awesome. So if you haven't checked out Mike's channel, definitely head over to Mike Crasher Reviews. Can't go wrong. Too funny. Yeah, that is awesome. It's great. Nice to see you, Mark, from Eat Carbs Online, or Eat Carbs Outdoors. Sorry. Nice to see you tapping in. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, it's good to see you guys. I hope that you're all doing well. Yeah, like I said, we've had a funny little, early start to summer here in the province. We've had a lot of fires. That was the funniest thing when we went down to Montana. We were telling people that we're from Alberta, from Canada. Many people down there were quite aware of the fire situation in Alberta. I mean, they were aware of it because the fires unfortunately brought some smoke down into Montana. Um, but they were just aware, fires popping up everywhere, and evacuations and all that stuff, right? So, yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of rain. Some of that's getting out of control, or under control, I should say. But yeah, it's been a little dicey at times. So I see Mark Kratz is joining us. So if you want to give me a thumbs up if you're ready, my friend, and I can add you in here. I see you're on deck. It's fun to have a guest. Yeah, Mark, just let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to add to the stream, and then I'll add you in. Hi, Virginia Bushcrafter. Good to see you, Stephen. Thank you for tapping in. Yeah, and again, you can use that little hashtag new friend to share out your link. And, like I said, what that'll do is it'll share your link out in the group here. Little chat bot guy will share it out. And, I encourage you guys to meet some new friends and make some new connections. Everybody in here I would vouch for. You all are great people. And, like I said, it's good to meet some new acquaintances, which is always rad. Oh, we got a couple friends coming on here. Awesome. Just let me know when you guys are ready, and then I will add you to the stream. You can just give me a thumbs up if you want when you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, here we go. The legend himself, Mark.
Hey, I just got out of the shower.
How are things going with you?
Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. It's working on my end.
Okay. For some reason, the audio is not coming through my headphone.
The old technical support stuff, hey? And we got Mark from Eats Carbs Outdoors. Hi, Mark.
There's Mark. He's having truck problems.
Yep. Story of my life.
What kind of truck problems are you having?
I think I blew the main fuse. So good times.
Yeah.
I gotta check it tomorrow. So
the fun of vehicle ownership, hey?
Yep. Well, it's not even a new vehicle. It's a 94.
So
it's got a lot of miles on it.
That's still a pain in the butt to deal with, eh?
Oh yeah. For sure.
Hey, well, Mark, just YouTube. My car won't start and see.
I did that already, actually, and I got a lot of other videos like starter relay and all these other things. I was like, all right, I already checked that. Starter relay is new, battery is new, it's connected properly. So I think it's the main fuse.
Here's one I had trouble with. I had a new battery put in last year, and last week my car wouldn't start. It wouldn't do anything.
Oh.
And so I opened the hood, and they didn't put the battery in good enough, so it's been bouncing around, and the connector just came off.
Well, that's not good.
That's funny, Mark. I was having the same problem in the wintertime, driving through with my truck, and I'll often plug, my phone into the USB to like charge, use the maps or whatever, right? And so I'm driving along, and then the little display screen just dead, right? And then the phone drops out, and I'm still driving along. Well, one day it did that in the middle of a friggin' intersection, like stop dead. I'm like, oh shoot, like what do I do? So I'm sitting there, rush hour, cars driving by. I'm like, the last thing I'm gonna do right now is monkey around with this. So I don't know if the angels helped me or if it just got stroke of luck, but tried to push the button again, finally started. So I did that a few times, and then I noticed the same thing as you. I went down to the battery compartment, and one of those friggin' battery poles was like so loose off the battery connections that was just killing the power while I was driving. And nowadays, with everything being electrical, you can't even freaking start the vehicle. Like you're up shit creek, right? So yeah,
that is the sole reason I hate that everything is push button.
Oh, the push button's
I miss
brutal.
the old days when everything was just. It was easy to work on. You just turn the key and go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the more buttons, the worse it is.
Well, I don't know if you saw that movie, Sling Blade.
I did.
And so they couldn't start that one rototiller, so they have Carl come over, and the first thing he does is he looks in the gas tank, and he goes, "It ain't got no gas in it." So it's checking those simple things first. So it could be if you're not getting any noise, it could be just a loose wire to your starter.
No, the starter wires are tight because my neighbor put in my neighbor actually put it in, my upstairs neighbor. And then I went to start it, and there was a big spark. And then I just turned it off and just said, well, let's just deal with it later. And I just kept pushing it off and being lazy and not dealing with it, which, my bad. But I finally got the truck up on the jack stands, and I crawled underneath there, and I dropped the whole starter, undid all the lines, switched them. And then when I went to start it, it was nothing. So I tried to give it a jump start. Nothing wouldn't start. So I took it to the auto parts store. They tested it. They said, "Well, we'll leave it overnight and let it charge. If it doesn't charge, we'll let you know." So he called me about a half hour later. Said, "Yeah, it's not even taking the charge." So it's just. So I just went down to Costco and bought a new one. So I think it's the main fuse. I was talking to the guys at the auto parts store today, and they're like, "Did you check your main fuse?" And I kind of did. It's got a fuse, and they're like, "Yeah, check your main fuse." I'm like, "Oh, I'll do that tomorrow." Okay, so.
Well, the moral of my story is don't trust an auto parts store guy either.
Well, he's an old guy with all white hair, so I knew I could trust him.
Old guy.
Yeah, those are the trustworthy ones, right, Mark?
Yeah, when he was fresh out of high school, and he was like
gray hair like this.
Yeah, no, he has white hair. So I knew he was legit.
It's too funny. Well, hopefully you figure it out, man. Hopefully you figure it out.
Well, knock on wood.
Yeah. Have you been? I know that a while there, it sounded like you were really burning the candle at both ends there with work, right? How is that going for you? Is it slowing down a little bit, or are you still?
Well, I had last weekend. I had worked last Saturday. Actually, I worked a double on Thursday, a double on Friday, and then I worked 12 hours on Saturday.
Wow.
So,
not slowing down.
We had a guy call out because he had a family emergency, but I didn't know what the details were, so I had to cover his shifts, which is fine. I didn't mind covering for him, but then driving home Friday night, I'm like, oh, get the weekend off. It's gonna be great. Phone rings. I look at it, and I'm like, oh shit. I knew it was calling. They asked me to work, so I'm like, oh, I'll do it. All right, because I know it sucks not having coverage and having to pull a lot of hours. So I just went ahead and worked last Saturday, and I worked on the truck on Sunday, got the battery, got it installed, and then yeah, I work a double on Friday. So
well,
it is what it is.
Hopefully you're making hay at least, right? I guess it's good to be busy sometimes, right? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is right now, but even in my world of work, it's like there's always just someone calling in sick, man. It's like I don't know if people just don't want to work anymore or what the deal is.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep good employees anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think people view sick time as vacation time these days.
Oh yeah, that could be.
Yeah, so
there's something wrong with my eyes. I just don't see myself working today.
yeah, I got something wrong with my eyes. I can't see going to work.
Yep.
Yep. It happens. I don't know. It's definitely seems like, at least here anyways, it feels like coming around from COVID, right? I don't know, the mentality really shifted. And here in Canada, there were like a lot of assistance programs, right, for people who chose not to work and kind of opt out of work. And I don't know, man. I think that there was just a switch in a lot of people where that work ethic didn't really like bounce back.
Yeah. A lot of them milked it too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I quit working 15 years ago, so
nice.
No drama except for the deer and the raccoons. Hey, Mark.
That's right. Which there are quite a few recently. Well, especially when you have a garden too, or you have animals, you know.
That's just ringing a dinner bell.
Yeah.
Look, food.
You got a pretty large size property, hey, Mark, to look after?
Yeah, I have 14 acres, and then, but I go through 1,200 acres, so it's a mile from my property line just to the highway. So I go through another ranch to get to mine, and behind me is state land and the Texas State Police main training facility.
Oh, cool.
So that's where their main barracks are with their emergency vehicle. They have a whole pursuit track and their firearms range. So, so I have state land behind me. So, quite a bit of wildlife. So it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have that backdrop of land that's not owned by someone else, I suppose. Hey,
right. But with that, I mean, especially the last 10 years, there's been just an influx of people from the left coast, both the East Coast and West Coast, you know, trying to escape. So the amount of building here and the encroachment is really becoming an issue.
Yeah, it's hard, especially with stuff like, I imagine, like if with the range facility and stuff like that. Is that under a lot of scrutiny with people kind of building out closer and closer and closer?
No, because everybody out here has, you know, I mean, my place, I just call the Gentleman's Ranch, but you know, you're talking people that have hundreds of acres, you know, so to them it's not a big deal, but we can see the development coming out toward where we live. You know, people buying up land and then they commercialize it, especially as there's a lot of old ranchers here, and as they pass away, the family, you know, doesn't want the property and they see dollar signs. So they try to sell it off as commercial land. I can see people comment in the chat, but I don't see my comment window. That's weird.
Yeah, there's a little bit
pop it out from YouTube.
Yeah, there's a little bit of commentary. So LB from Women Outdoors is tapped in, so she's saying hello. And
Mike, hello.
And so thank you for joining in, LB. Appreciate you joining. A little bit of back and forth chat there between Just Doing Our Best and Virginia Bushcraft and Outdoors with Den, just kind of all saying hello to one another. I don't know. Can you see when I put these little pinned comments up, Mark? Does that work?
Yeah, I can see the chat narrative.
Wow.
I can't respond it because I don't see my comment window.
I see.
So I had to give you a thumbs up on my phone.
Oh, weird.
See, I'm on a PC, so I have two screens.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a PC now too, but yeah, I have to go. I could go back and forth. I have I can't see them on StreamYard. I can see my comment window on the
On the
YouTube.
regular.
Okay, I'll just do that. Go back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah,
Sometimes
there's an option in YouTube to pop out the chat, so I have it on the other screen. So
yeah, I'll minimize that window.
the ever evolving learning curve, hey?
Yeah. Hey Dan, how far are you from Calgary?
Under 3 hours to the north side of Calgary.
Okay, so you're north of Calgary?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I used to ride up to Alaska every year, and I would go in through Montana, and I would hang a left in Calgary and go through Banff.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I was saying off the hop last weekend, not last weekend, sorry, the weekend before, like the 20th to the 24th or something like that. We went down with the kids and the wife down to Whitefish and spent some time out there. So it was about a 7.5 hour drive, 8 hour drive down, and we went, through Calgary, kind of through the mountains, through BC, and then down into Whitefish and Kalispell and spent a few days down there. It was awesome time to sneak out.
Yeah, I got behind a truck with a trailer, and they got stuck at the border customs and got busted for taking beer.
Oh no.
Is that something you guys do? Take beer? Is there?
Did they get busted coming back into Canada or coming?
Yeah. They loaded up with beer in the States, and then I don't know if they're trying to avoid something or.
I don't know, man. It was funny because coming in from Canada to the States, the US guy was really honest about fruit and vegetables. Like that was the big thing that he was really asking us about. Is like, you got any apples? And I'm like, dude, no, we're not like bringing a bunch of apples into the States. But I think that was really what bugged them. And then the Canadian guy coming back in was absolutely asking us if we brought any liquor back, or beer, or whatever, right? But he did not even seem to care about fruits and vegetables. So I don't know.
Well, if they're asking for beer, there must be some tax, something they're
Yeah.
trying to avoid. I don't know.
Well, when we go down there, like, I don't know, I imagine it's the same for you guys coming up, but we're allowed to bring certain amounts of stuff back, right? Like, I think after you're gone for 48 hours or something like that, you can bring 24 beer back or something. I don't know. But I think it is a tax thing. So if you bring back more than your share, then you're supposed to pay some duty on it, right?
Yeah. Well, these guys had like at least 20 cases of beer.
God.
Cases?
Yeah, cases.
Damn.
I don't know, man. I don't even think it's worth it. With the conversion right now between your dollar and ours, it's not even, I don't even think it would be worth it. I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerp said it was $1.39 to $1 for US.
Absolutely. Yeah, which I found surprising, right? Because like when our kids were really excited to go down to Target and Walmart and buy like all the snacks that you can't get here in Canada, because I truly believe that the good stuff, I don't know why, but the good stuff stops at the border, boys. Like you guys get the great convenience foods and all the weird shit and like the spicy hot stuff, and it just for some reason stops at the border. But then we had to keep in the back of our mind, if you buy a $5 bag of Doritos, it's actually $7.50 Doritos, and it's still $5 here in Canada. So like the pricing that we were paying there in Montana was high when we factor in the conversion on top of everything. Right?
Yeah. Well, when I lived in California, we had 10.5% sales tax in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yikes.
I would go up to Oregon, and then I would go to Fred Meyer and buy like shoes. So I do a once a year run and buy new underwear, new clothes, and new shoes because there was no sales tax.
Wow.
In Oregon.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Actually, a lot of people do that. They hop the border and they buy stuff from like REI or something like that, and then they just drive it back up.
Just to save the taxes, I guess.
Yeah. But there's an in and out in Oregon, so it made it worth it.
Yeah,
3 hours for a double.
My dudes were excited to hit the Chick-fil-A. That was the day one list for them that they liked. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's popular here.
Oh yeah. There's always a line around the building here.
It's a busy place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Popeyes.
We got Popeyes here, pretty common. Mary Brown's. Do you guys have Mary Brown's chicken in the States, or is that just a Canada thing?
I've never seen it.
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
It sounds like I know there's Canadian businesses. Like first time I went to Tim Hortons, he's a hockey player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he was, yeah. So I noticed a lot of places had names of people, first and last name. So I'm assuming it's a Canadian.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and Mary Bells. We're going to somebody's house.
I guess it is a little bit weird, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had fun down there though. Like we fished on the lake one day, and we should have gone into the Glacier National Park, to be honest, but that would have been probably a whole day commitment. We just didn't really carve out the time, but we had a great time down there anyways. And like I said, the kids didn't kill each other in the truck on the way down, which is always a plus. I was a little nervous. An 8-hour drive is a long time for them to be cooped up in the car, but we had fun.
Well, up there is the Bob Marshall Wilderness. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's near what you just said. I just had a brain fart.
Near Glacier.
Yeah, Glacier. So I used to go backpacking there, but you really got to watch out for the bears. A lot of brown bears or grizzly.
Yeah, don't need that kind of interaction, hey? Especially they like the minestrone soup, I've heard, hey?
Yes. That's how I learned about it. Well, the good thing is that those bears aren't used to people being around.
Yeah.
So they will. Yeah. I mean, if they hear you coming, they'll avoid you. But it's those bears that get next to the parks and where these undisciplined people leave food available. There's a bushcraft Joe. I just saw him. He left a post about Dayton or Cincinnati, and I told him there's a one of the best pizzas I've ever had, and if you're in Dayton, is Marion's Pizza, and they've been around since the 40s, and a lot of celebrities. They have a lot of celebrity pictures on the wall, but their pizzas are square, but it's one of the best pizzas I've ever had. So if anybody lives near Dayton, where the Air Force Museum is, then check out Marion's Pizza.
Nice.
I'm sold.
Yeah, you had me at pizza.
Yeah.
I see Jerbs is here, which is great to see. Hike with Mike. Bears are always attracted, or bears are attracted to me. I always carry bear spray. I was going to bring our bear spray across the border, but again, that was something I didn't know if that would be okay to do or not. So I just avoided it. I mean, I could have bought one, I imagine, and just got rid of it, but we didn't really go too far anyway.
I think you're allowed bear spray because I was up in British Columbia 3 years ago, and I went to they had a motorcycle campground that just catered to motorcyclists, and I had my bear spray hanging on my sidecar in plain view, and because bear spray only it's weaker than pepper spray.
Okay.
It's only 15% that of which is in pepper spray as far as capsaicin goes. So it's weaker, but always check.
Yeah, it's worth the
Check
ask.
with customs.
Yeah. And I think I saw something similar as long as it was marked. I think, like you mentioned, Mark, as long as it says on it that it's for like predator deterrent or something like that. I think that is kind of like the language that they look for. But it's funny because they didn't even ask us about stuff like that, They were just concerned with us bringing in apples.
I'm actually planning on driving up and visiting Jerbs in next month, actually. So
Nice.
no apples at the border. I'll write that.
Noted. Yeah, because I guess Seattle, because you're in Seattle, right, Mark? So Seattle,
close to Seattle,
north of Seattle. So there to Jerbs is only a couple hours too, I'd imagine, right?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to drive up to Port Angeles, and then I'm going to take the ferry across to Victoria. That's my plan.
Nice.
Otherwise, I was going to drive all the way up to BC and then take another ferry across, but I'm just going to go the easiest route, I think.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be a good time.
I've never been out that way, but man, it's beautiful. Like the pictures when Jerb's there goes off to where he gets the fatwood from Fern Gully, and it's like just stunning trees and so green, and elk just like eating out of his backyard. It sounds like a pretty magical place, man.
Yeah, you get mosquitoes there too.
I'll bring bug spray.
Yeah.
Is there no mosquitoes in Texas?
Not too many. You need moist conditions.
Yeah, they like moisture.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm kind of like in a wine country area, and I don't have a lot of open water where my property is. But you get down by the lakes and things at night. But the big thing are the ones that really bug me are the no-see-ums, because they like moisture and they try to fly in your eye and your nose.
Yeah, they're bad.
It's super irritating.
Yeah, and then you're scratching. The mosquitoes are annoying because you're scratching at them, or like you said, picking them out of your ears and nose. That's no fun.
Yeah. Well, mosquitoes like me for some reason, so I'm like a mosquito detector. If there's a mosquito out, I'll be the first one to know.
Gonna find you. Yeah, and I didn't think, like, we went out last weekend camping for a night there, and I didn't think that there were very many. And then 2 days later, you're like scratching at your elbows and you're like back of your legs. You're like, yeah, okay, they were definitely out. I just wasn't paying attention in the moment.
I actually went over to Eastern Washington with a couple of guys 4 years ago or 5 years ago, might be 6 now. And there were so many mosquitoes. I actually had scars from all the bites. It was awful.
Yeah,
and that was the only guy who didn't bring bug spray.
Oh, man.
What we get here are chiggers. Are you familiar with chigger? I don't think they have them.
I've never seen one, but I've heard of them.
They're a little mite. They're very small. They're like a larval stage of some kind of moth or something. But they'll get on your clothing. And if you're lucky, you'd be able to see one, but they're so tiny. But they'll get up, and you'll know when you have a chigger bite because they'll bite around where your clothing binds against your skin. So like around your waistband. And there's a wives' tale that they dig into your skin. They don't. They bite you and they leave. But they'll get you around the ankles, around where your socks are. But they'll itch like crazy for weeks.
Yeah.
We get fire ants here, and you get a sting from them. It hurts.
Oh, man.
But it just lasts for a couple hours, or like a scorpion. It'll just last for a couple hours, and then it might itch for a day or two. But the chigger bites it'll drive you mad at night. Usually things at night when you're trying to get to sleep is when poison oak and all that stuff tends to bother you more, because you're not busy. But yeah, I found that using when I first moved here and I experienced chiggers, I went and I looked at chigger repellent, and I looked at the active ingredients. Well, it's sulfur and mineral oil, 15% sulfur, and sulfur was used in World War II to treat open wounds, gunshot wounds, and they carried a powder. If you ever watched the World War II movie, and they bite a packet and they pour it in the wound, that's sulfur powder. So I found it at a feed store, and it's used for animal wounds. It's called New Bond. So you can get it at Tractor Supply. So I bought mineral oil and I mix it myself.
Oh.
And it's like pennies on the dollar, because the chigger repellent was $15 for a 3 ounce, like about as much as 3 hotel shampoo bottles.
Yeah.
And when I go out, like that's what I did today. I cut some brush. That's why I just got out of the shower. But I just mix it with the mineral oil, and I take a little basting brush and I paint my whole body with it. But bugs don't like that sulfur odor. But the sulfur is good for your skin, because people, take mineral baths, hot baths, and it's the sulfur is one of the things they even make soap for it. So you're not putting all that stuff on your skin, like in DEET, and which melts plastic. I learned that the hard way once. backpacking. But yeah, I was in Alaska and I had a cheap day pack. We got dropped off by an airplane, and so I had a day pack that I carried my lunch and stuff with, and it was just a cheap nylon, but the insect repellent leaked. And I'm walking along about an hour later, and stuff's dropping out of my pack. Well, it melted the nylon, so I had this big hole.
Oh my God.
In the pack.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Hike with Mike said something similar as what you were saying. Luckily, I have acidic blood. Most biting insects don't bother me, so I don't only worry about ticks. It is funny how some people get hammered by them, right? And other people don't. It's got to be, like you said, a blood thing or blood type thing or something, right? Death to all ticks. I agree. That's one thing that we're lucky about here is, a lot of places in Canada, the ticks are a big problem, right? Especially for people sleeping outdoors in tarps and on the ground and stuff. But with whatever reason here in, central northern Alberta, we don't seem to have much of a problem with it. And I think it might just because the winters are so cold,
Could be.
But they get on the odd moose though, which looks terrible when they're chewing up the moose and then their skin's all patchy and gross. Like I've seen moose with bad outbreaks of ticks.
First time I ever went to Alaska, I went and watched a softball game, and it was during the summertime, so it was light until like midnight almost, but everybody had hoodies and sweatshirts on playing softball.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch the people run when you're in the stands and you're watching people running from first base to second base, you can see this big cloud of mosquitoes.
Oh my gosh.
Chasing the runners around the bases. That's crazy.
They can be pretty bad. Gerbs say mosquitoes are big here, but they don't like smoke here. Yeah, mosquitoes are bad news. Ted from Off the Hook Outdoors, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, we didn't have mosquitoes here, and then just like all of a sudden, they just poof, come out of nowhere, and then they're just vicious.
Vicious and hungry.
Yeah, vicious and hungry.
Yeah, they're little mini vampires.
They are the worst.
Isn't it only the females, though, that do the biting and sucking?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I always hate. I know what you're gonna say. I hate when you see a mosquito and you slap it and all that blood comes out and it is not yours. Like that is the worst. That is the worst. Ugh.
I kind of I wondered when COVID was around, what would happen if a mosquito. I never heard anybody address that. If a mosquito bit somebody with COVID and then bit you. If it was if it was a transmission.
I don't know. I think maybe wasn't it more saliva and water droplets and sneezes and stuff? Maybe it wasn't a blood thing. I don't know. Who knows?
So Hike with Mike said.
Yeah, I'll put that one back. I have real sensitive skin, so I usually feel the ticks walking on me before they bite so I can flick them off.
Nice.
Okay, well, we know now that if anybody's with Mike to tickle.
Totally. Canoe camp in Michigan, ticks everywhere at one of the sites. Deep 100 killed them, but almost melted a hole in my tent. Same thing as you. That's crazy.
All right, Hike with Mike asked where I was in Alaska. So we would fly in from Talkeetna Air Service, and we'd fly into different areas there. But that's kind of like asking where are you in Texas? It's just so huge. And then the other place we would fish would be the Kenai Peninsula. Yeah, well, that's what he said. So, so you have Portage Glacier there, and that was the first time I ever caught a Dolly Varden. Do you have those up there, Dan?
I've heard of Dolly Vardens. I don't think we have them here, but I've certainly heard of them.
Yeah, the fishing up there is different. So I usually use worms. I always have. That's my go-to. Then I'll try a lure or something like that. I don't like to use the power bait stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were up there for Dolly Varden, I asked a guy what you use, and they just had a huge hook, and they put a white bead and a plastic bead right above the hook. You just put it right above on the line, no leader.
Yeah.
Because you're using heavy line. The Dolly Varden are like a big trout. And we would find a tributary that ran into a lake, and because the fish would wait at the mouth for stuff to come down to eat. So you just threw your line hook in the water and let the current take it into the lake, and where they would be waiting. But yeah, that was weird. And the beads look like something you would see on a cheap necklace from a thrift store.
That's too funny.
They're just white and black plastic. And I'm trying to think, well, what does that mimic, in wildlife?
Yeah, Jerb says he has them on the lake that he lives.
Okay. Yeah, they're awesome, man. I caught a 5-pounder, and that fed like 3 of us. But I had to cut it into steaks, because it wouldn't obviously fit in a fry pan. But
it'd be a beautiful place to go to, man. Someday I'd love to go up to Alaska.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you feel. I felt small. Like that was the first time I just realized how big the world was, because we got dropped off for a week, and we took a Piper Cub. So there were 3 of us, and it could only take one of us at a time. And it was about a 20-minute flight from Talkeetna. And it was near the West Fork of the Susitna River. And so I was the first one in. So I'm actually sitting on my pack, holding my rifle between my legs. But we took a raft with a rigid frame for the oars, because our agreement with the pilot was to pick us up in a week. And that was before, cell phones. At the time, they did have a satellite thing. They were $400, and that would put out a distress signal. It was kind of like a pager, but all you could do with it was press a button. And so anyway, the weather there was just, one day we had beautiful 70 degrees. One day it was like 20 degrees with snow. We had a couple of days of liquid sunshine, rain. And so you don't want to go up there with Walmart gear.
No.
Especially when you're dropped off for a week, because you can't call anybody. So our agreement was, if he couldn't pick us up due to weather, then we were to raft out 50 miles. And his wife left a pickup truck for us on this bridge.
Wow.
So needless to say, we ended up having to raft out. But the trees in Alaska, we were about 30 miles from Mount Denali. And I remember just sitting on a ridge line, and I could see Denali off. It was, because it's so big, but it was at least 30 miles away. And I mean, you're looking like over the horizon to see it. But yeah, it's just so vast, and realizing that we didn't even see an airplane for a whole week. And yeah, it made me realize that, number one, Alaska was big, but we're like nothing, compared to what's out there.
Yeah, that would be a crazy trip to be out there for just like a set amount of time, and really knowing like you don't have a lot of options to pull the chute. Like you're there until someone picks you up, or like you said, unless you want to raft down to the truck, but you're there. Like no one's got your back except you or the guys that you're with, right?
Yeah. Well, we had the other thing too, that we thought, okay, we're gonna have all kinds of water, but where we got dropped off, it's full of glacial silt,
Mm.
and it's like it's like a powder almost. So the water is gray. So if you're using like that was when first time I went there was when hand pumps filtration devices first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to filter the water before we filtered the water, otherwise it would have clogged up our filter. So we had to run it through like a kerchief and put it in another container, or you can just set the container down and the silt will sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you can
Pour off the top.
But that was an eye opener. Oh, we're gonna have all this water. Well, yeah, you can't. I mean, you could drink it. So I don't know if it would hurt you because it's so pure. It's glacial runoff,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got all that debris and stuff in it. So,
Which I'm not sure drinking all that silt would be too good for you.
nah.
I can't imagine it would be.
Yeah, Jerb says you got a pre-filter filter. Yeah, pretty much. The old pre-filter filter. Yeah. Yeah, Jerb said too that corn works for those fish too on his lake.
Mm.
Corn seems to be just something that works for everything.
Yeah, some places don't. I know some states don't allow you to use corn.
Yeah,
Or-
we're not.
Well, people down south, they'll throw corn in the water like chum. They call it baiting fish.
I see a new special guest in the queue. If he gives me a big thumbs up, I'll let him in. Yes. Bam.
Oh, there's Johnny.
What's up?
I just saw him. I saw Johnny had an armful of quackers.
Yes, I just put the quackers away. They're in there yelling right now. How are you guys doing tonight?
Not bad. How you doing?
Oh, living the dream. Going to throw some pork chops on the grill and hang out and have a cold one. I thought I'd hang out with my buddies for a little bit.
Nice. I think I can see the smoke coming off the grill, or it's coming off the back of your shoulders, one or the other. Oh, there you go.
That's right. I'm hot. I'm the smoking man.
Johnny, what do you use to start your charcoal?
Just paper. I just use paper and a charcoal chimney. I don't do any lighter fluid if at all possible. How about yourself?
Well, I mostly now use those little tumbleweeds.
Oh yeah, those work.
Yeah, those work really good. But I used to use rubbing alcohol. I have a couple videos. I take that camping because it's cheap and it doesn't leave a residue.
Right.
On your charcoal.
Right.
But it just burns up fast. So I supplement that with wood or something.
Yeah.
I kind of like I like those little tumbleweeds. They have them at the Dollar General store. And they
I haven't tried those yet. So far, what I do is I dump the bag of charcoal into a big plastic container. Then I use the paper from the charcoal bag as my lighter, or the lighting material. So, I was like, why spend money on something when I've already got plenty? So,
yeah, I just try to get people not to use the charcoal starter. It just.
Oh, sure. All right. True story. I was out in Florida seeing my cousin and his kids and stuff, and he wanted to barbecue. I said, okay. So he showed up out at the picnic grounds with that match light charcoal. It's already soaked and everything. All you got to do is just throw a match on it. Oh, David puts it out in the rain, the Florida rains, and he's like, Johnny, I can't get a fire going. I'm like, no, you are not going to tell me we cannot light a fire. I'm like, if I can't get a fire going, shame on me. I just shut down my channel. I'm all done with. So I'm like, first thing, get it out of the rain, for starters. But then I was like, all right, we can redneck this. I see aluminum foil pans and stuff. But eventually I was like, we will get a break. I found a big old beach umbrella. And I just ripped up some paper in there and from the bag. And next thing you know, we got it going. But I was like, no. If I can't get a fire going for match light, yeah, shame on the Johnny channel. but he thought that was pretty funny. But I was like, wow, can't even use matchlight, David. Just go sit down.
Hey, that reminds me. Did you get that Boy Scout book I sent you?
Yes, I was sitting there thinking about doing a mail call on that one because I'm like, that is going to have tons and tons of projects on there. And your note really meant a lot. I got back from vacation on Sunday and checked the mail, and there that was. I'm like, oh, Mark, did you hook a brother up? And so today's the first day off, and I just haven't found a good way to thank you out publicly. Hey, I got it.
Well, I don't care about the public accolation, but the Boy Scout, just the Boy Scout handbook. That's where I learned everything. And when every summer our troop would go, and I was in Boy Scouts for 5 years, but every summer we'd go to summer camp. But my dad sent me, it was called Russian Gulch Camp. And that was a primitive, this is in the 60s. And I think that's when Boy Scouts was in its heyday, with the champions and everything.
Right.
But, we would have to, we'd left in the morning, and it was a 10-mile backpack trip in to the California coastal mountains. And they gave us I could remember every detail of this camp because it made such an impression on me. But we would get, they gave us an apple, a sandwich, and a carton of milk. And we had to hike in 10 miles backpacking. And when I remember taking off my pack and feeling like I was full of helium, all that weight was off. And it's kind of like being on the moon, you're running around because but
those were not lightweight packs back in the day.
But when we got to the camp, they put us in groups of 5. So depending on what merit badge you were working on, because it was a pioneering camp. So the emphasis was on making rope, building bridges, signal towers, learning how to lash, that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
But so we get there, and they divided us up in groups of 5, and they gave us one tarp. So we had to build a group shelter. So, we did a lean-to, which was the easiest, and they showed us how to make a leaf bed. And you think you have enough leaves until you go lay on the thing, especially after the first night. So, you're always just kind of building it up. But it was like a Navy SEAL experience because we had to haul these logs they did it on purpose. They had all these logs about a half a mile from where we did all the work. So we had to go carry these things, and you're carrying it, and kids are crying and all this stuff. But they put you through this hardship, and this kid from San Francisco, his name was Morrissey, and he was working on his cooking merit badge. So he had to cook group meals, making a menu. So every morning he would have to go to the leaders camp, and they give him a box. So it had you got there was paper towel, but it was the food for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got. So he had to make it every day. He'd have to make a menu and make up stuff. But we all ended up getting diarrhea because he wasn't washing the dishes. Properly.
Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing like waking up in your sleeping bag thinking you have to fart.
Oh. Take a chance. Crap your pants.
Not
but anyway, everything you needed. I think it was there weren't any bushcraft books at that time.
Right.
Until it became a thing a few years ago. But just the basic Boy Scout manual, if you just add that. But I think, did I send you the field book, right?
You sent both.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to have a lot of good reading for a while. No, when I was in Ohio doing that nav class, I was with some serious bushcrafters. All of them did the Boy Scouts and all that stuff. So I'm like, they've been doing this their entire lives. Matter of fact, there was like 2 18-year-olds. They're just crushing it. They already went through the intermediate survival class. For a lot of adults, they can't touch it. One kid's blacksmithing already. But yeah, I'm like, it's just hearing that background discussion, because I didn't get a chance to scout as a kid. But listening to everybody, they're like, yeah, if you didn't scout, you're really several steps behind, man. So, and it's just a matter of amping it up with newer equipment nowadays and stuff. So, but it's going to be awesome, especially with the Challenge Alliance, that Camp Challenge Alliance. I bet you we can dig a bunch of cool ideas out of those books.
Yeah. I encourage anybody, if you can get your hands on a Boy Scout field, it's called the Field Book, which is a more comprehensive book on outdoor skills.
Yes.
But to me, that was the Bible.
Yeah.
But after a week there at Russian Gulch, we hiked out to the California coast, and they picked us up in a bus, and they took us to a hamburger place. And after a week of eating, questionable food and some bad food, and I would go get dropped off at the it was called Roy and A Summer Camp, and that's where the regular scouts would go. So my troop I usually timed it. I would be at this. There you go. I would be at, and those are vintage copies.
That's like, these are some piece of history right here, man.
Can you hold those up again, please?
Yes. Yeah. Let me get to a better light for you, Mark.
I'm checking eBay to see if they have any.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on eBay.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even thought about this until you mentioned it. My brother, he did some scouting, but my dad, he was like, he's not interested in doing anything by the time, I was getting of age. He was just like, nope. He sat and watched wrestling. I'm trying to take the saran wrap off here so you guys can see this.
I put you front and center here so you can show it too.
That's right. I'm all bigified.
Yeah, bigified.
Well, it's got all the kinds of like campfires, the types of fires, cooking. It even gives you recipes, and that's in the basic Boy Scout handbook.
There you go.
But the other thing that it has in it are just how to be a good person.
Okay.
That's the field book. So that's the one you want. That's
cool.
That's more detailed.
There's one on eBay that's $49.99.
Now check this thing out. This thing has seen some history.
Oh wow.
Let's get this. I get used to where the camera is on the phone here. But yeah, doesn't this look a little aged? Now check out the back of it.
Oh yeah.
Look at the ads. Open it up and show maybe where I don't know if you can get to the cooking or something. Just
absolutely
what it has in there.
Sure, absolutely.
But that book really had an influence on my whole life. It guided me, through just having a good moral character and all the skills that you need.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can find some cooking here. See if we got a nice encyclopedia here.
Yeah, that's some good pictures. I mean, just go through and look at the pictures. Are entertaining.
Cooking. Here we go. The 180s. Let's go to the 180s here. Oh my! Yeah, these are quite some good. Here we go. So we got the different types of fire here.
That's cool.
Look familiar with all the hanging pots and stuff? Oh, let's see here. There we go. Just watching Corporal's Corner doing something like this, just hanging the pot over the fire.
I've done that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, Mark, it's like, you going to be getting outdoors? It's like, love to see you do some outdoor cooking, man. You do some awesome cooking there, brother. There we go. So we got some foil packs.
I'm hoping to get out this weekend.
The foil cooked meal. That was my first. I used that recipe in that.
Oh, where is it?
So here it looks like on the other side over here, like what you do for cooking fish and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Now this is one I want to do is like do the old rotisserie over the fire one of these days. You get like a chicken. I was watching somebody that. Yeah. And here we go. Oh, I thought somebody was barefoot for a minute. I was like, no, yeah, I was like, but no, they got shoes on. They're not part of the Barefoot Buddies Club.
Yeah. And the first aid too is helpful. I mean, it's everything. It's like an outdoor Bible.
That's what, in October, I was thinking we should do like a first aid challenge. So look at there. I mean, that's some good pictures there. Here we're in the first aid stuff. So yeah, very, it might be old school, but it's still timeless stuff. What has really changed about getting outdoors and first aid and stuff.
Well, if you really think about it, other than gear, the gear that we have now.
Yeah.
But that's closer, to when people, in the early 60s, all those people that taught me grew up in the Depression era, World War II. And the field book is just more detailed.
Well, here we go. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Except they don't have newspapers anymore.
No.
You got to use your iPhone as a splint.
Here you got all your knots and lashes and stuff. Now here's the field book. Let's see what we got going on here. Bears. Oh yeah. Now here's the actual pictures. As photographs as opposed to colored illustrations. There. Like, can you imagine whittling a chain? Did you ever do that, Mark?
No, I carved a neckerchief slide. I didn't have the patience to do a lot of carving.
Yeah, I don't either.
Here we go. All the different snakes. Some common snakes.
It's also where to find them. It's got little maps on there too.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a really cool detail.
Oh, here we go. Dad shaving in the tub with its electric shaver. Dangerous practice. Here we go. How to wash our hands, or at least dry our hands. So, but yeah, I find it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it dawned on me, I'm probably not going to relate real well with the newest generation that is kind of looking to the future of grayness, where I'm looking in the past of how did we get here? What old school things, and, who are we and how do we, it's like what makes us who we are, and appreciation for the past. So I'm looking back here, looking at this cool stuff. They're not going to relate with this at all, so that'd be a challenge. Well, Dan, you're a daddy. How about your kids? How old are they? And are they dealing with, they just know dad takes them outdoors all the time, or any talks about any of that?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. So my dudes are almost 8 and almost 12, right? So I've been dragging them along with me in the woods, since they're basically enough to sort of stumble along behind me, right? Kind of grab them and lift them over the mud holes, or kind of carry them through the thick brush, or kind of whatever I need to, right? So, they, like me, just sort of learn from, dad, really. So I never had the Boys and Scouts or anything like that, but we take them along, and the hard part with them though is just with them being different ages, right? I've really struggled because sometimes a little guy wants to go home after a short bit, or kind of can't stand the time out there, and lo and behold, he's blowing up the day for the older guy who will sit out there all day with me. So that's the hardest part, is trying to kind of keep them challenge them, but not make them overwhelmed or hate it, right?
Right. Are you able to take one camping and leave the other one at home so you can have a longer run?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that for sure, which is good because I think that they also need that one-to-one time with me as well. And yeah, I definitely do that. I break them up sometimes for sure, especially like with ice fishing and stuff, where little guy's feet will get cold and it'll just be, more. Yeah, it gets disappointing for everybody that way, right? So he'll leave him at home, and I'll do something else with him the next time, right?
Now, which one likes to do the hunt, the field chicken, the field chicken slayer?
That's my older one, yeah, and he's going to be the deer hunter this year. It's so funny because in the States, I've learned that you could be like an infant, and I don't know how, but I guess in Texas, in Mark's neck of the woods, little child, 4 years old, can go blast a deer. Here in Alberta, it's not like that. You got to be 12 years old to hunt deer. So the Chicken King is going to hopefully move on to trying to blast
Bigger and better. There you go. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Fill up that freezer, brother. It's like, that's some good chewing here. I'm thinking I'm going to make a venison casserole here pretty soon. Now, how do you like to do your venison? Do you grind it? Do you make steaks or fillets?
We do a lot of different stuff, man. I actually like to leave things chunked up whole as much as possible, and then I just grind down things as we need it. My wife doesn't really like to cook the steaks or roast. She's kind of scared away by cutting the whole muscle meat. So she'll do a lot of stuff with grinds. So tonight she made this, I'll post it on Instagram probably the next day or two, but she made this like thing that was like in a stuffed garlic bread. So like it was a garlic bread round, right? Like a round loaf of bread. I don't even know what the hell kind of is, but like looks, I'll use Canadian lingo. It's like a hockey puck of bread, right? I don't know, like a 9-inch, kind of 2-inch tall circle. She cut it in half, carved out the bread, and made it like a garlic bread. A loaf. There you go. And she filled it up with like ground venison and some Italian sausage and some carrots and tomatoes. And it almost looked like a pizza when she baked it with cheese on top. And it was like so good. Yeah, it was so good. So she does stuff a lot with the grinds. But I mean, we like to eat the tenderloins and backstraps and some roasts occasionally and stuff like that. But we use it in burgers and substitute it in chilies and all that kind of stuff too, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, we've been, it's a sweeter meat. It's like, I don't know if I told you, we got our deer because it jumped out in front of Rochelle when she was driving home the other day. Yeah. And so once we were like, the car's okay, Rochelle's okay, I'm like, how much meat is salvageable? And so we canned it up. And so I found out you mix it with corn, some baked beans, and I make a jalapeno cheddar cornbread and make like a casserole. Oh, and a little bit of hot sauce. That's some good chewing, man. Hi, dear. Let's see here. Let me grab some tongs because it's about time. Oh, what you got there?
Texas
Pete. Texas Pete.
I get the hotter now.
Nice. Hotter.
Yeah, that one looks like, that's the hotter one. That one's got amped up a little bit, man.
I already ate all the other ones, so this is empty.
You know what? At our Chick-fil-A's out here, they have little single servings of Texas Pete.
That's where I was getting mine. I would go in, buy a chicken sandwich, big handful of Texas Pete.
Yeah.
Like, thanks. Shove it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Well, Mark,
absolutely.
Mark, didn't I send you that first bottle of Texas Pete's a couple years ago? I remember I sent you some really hot noodles.
Oh yeah, man, those things, man, those noodles burn. Yeah. I remember that. I think there was hot sauce in there.
Oh no, I sent you slap your mama. Is what I sent you.
Right.
Slap your mama.
Yeah, I think I used it all, then I ended up buying another one. So much.
Oh, I got to find my hot sauce here. But the Dells, they had a hot sauce store, so I bought a few different sauces here. Let's see here. Key lime, that's for chicken. Let's see here. New Orleans, okay, that one's for the steak. I've got a few menus lined up here. Oh, this one's cookie dip. Oh, this one's Asian. Haven't figured out. Oh, salmon, that's right. What I decided to do. So then, of course, the last one. Here we go. Maple chipotle glaze is what we're working with tonight.
That sounds good.
Do you ever make your own barbecue sauce, Johnny?
I have. Yeah. I got a I've got a couple cookbooks. There's a Kansas City style that the kids really like. But yeah, I've done dabbled with it. Not enough though. Not enough to do it justice. How about yourself?
Yeah, I like to make it, or I'll go to the Dollar General and they'll have 99-cent craft. So
Yeah.
I use that as a base, and then I'll add garlic, maple syrup, brown sugar, kind of depending on what kind of flavor profile I want.
Right.
But I just start off with the big cans, the 32-ounce cans of tomato sauce. I'll do batches.
I've done that. Yeah, it's like I don't think there's anything wrong with saving time just starting with the basic barbecue sauce and then jazzing it up your own style. Let's see if I got that. Yeah, I'm good to go. But yeah, we've done it. There was I think the girls are real partial to Kansas City style. And then we do like an Asian marinade or Asian chicken thigh with bell peppers and stuff. Is it with the apricot jam, dear? Anyway, I think she throws in an apricot jam with the barbecue sauce. And man, that is some good food.
It's fun to play around.
Go ahead.
Cat in the North showed something on her community page. It was bacon jam. And so my mind started wandering. Well, what could I put that on? And pork chops.
Yeah.
Or a roast pork. Use that as a glaze.
I saw somebody make root beer jam the other day, and I was like, what all would that go well with? I'm thinking pork maybe, but I don't know. I think just heat it up, put it over ice cream probably.
For dessert.
Well, I got a video coming out next week, kind of dedicated to Mark, because he puts bacon on all his burgers, and sometimes I just don't want to have. I want a burger. So
right.
But they're better with bacon.
But he doesn't like onions, and I love onions. So I made some Oklahoma onion burgers.
Oh, the fried onion burger, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming up in a week. But I copied a recipe from one of the original diners in Oklahoma, Sid's Cafe.
Yeah,
so I did it exactly the way he does it. So you get a
First We Feast actually just put out a video for that.
Yeah. But I did a breakfast burger, I think, this week. I can't remember anymore. But so I gave you a shout out because I put bacon on it.
Yeah,
bacon egg.
The video I like that video. I thought about doing a VR, but we'll see.
Sorry, man. I was trying to change the angle on the camera so you guys could see the pork chops, and it just recycled the web page. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Camera problem. Let's see here. All right, but let's see. You guys get a good shot of that?
We'll get you front and center. Ooh.
Ooh, look at that fat cap on there.
Ooh, yeah. Local piggy. So what do I was like? This is taking some getting used to, guys. I've never had hair on the side of my head. It's like pretty soon we might have the ponytail going on here, but I have to wear a hat a lot nowadays.
I still think you should shave it.
That's out there, Mark. I put too much time into getting it out for a little. We're going to have to sport this for a little bit, at least for a season, But I'm sure I'll do the Breaking Bad at one point. I thought about going old school wrestling. You guys remember a wrestler called Ox Baker?
No.
Okay. He was known for his dreaded heart punch. And he had these Fu Manchu long chops. It's like I would have to shave the head, but just can you imagine a long handlebar mustache coming down here? And it's like, and then dress up and do that for like a Halloween party or something like that. Mark, you are awful quiet, my man. What are you doing?
Well, I'm looking at the chat. I had kind of a busy day, and I actually took a nap after I cut some brush, but had watered the garden because Sabrina's gone, so now I have twice as much stuff to do. So she's in California for the summer. I'm probably going to join her at some point. But so now I got to water the garden. I got to do, because I do the cooking, she does the dishes. So now I got to do both of that. Now I got to water the garden. And I had done a bunch of honeydew projects. So I'm kind of like, after she left, she's been gone 5 days. I just kind of laid around. Because I put in a new kitchen countertop, new kitchen lights, a new sink, new faucet. But I have a list of, Mark projects to do. And so I'm going to try to get those done. And then I go to Vegas in 2 weeks. I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to try to meet some friends in Idaho on July 5th for a fishing trip.
Nice.
But that's, 2,000-mile drive. So I don't know if I'm going to ride the motorcycle or take the car.
Sure.
But then I would work my way over to California.
So,
what about putting a bike on a trailer and just towing it up?
Yeah, well, I like to take my sidecar because then I could take my big tent and an ice chest. I'm not using backpacking gear anymore because, I'm done with all the backpacking, I think. So, but the problem is that having a sidecar motorcycle is very tiring because there's a lot of drag on it, and where I used to ride 1,000 miles a day, after 300 miles, I'm done. And that's 6 to 7 hours of 8 hours of riding. So, yeah.
I've seen some motorcycles with trailers on the back. Is that better?
Yeah. I had one. I'm actually the first person to set a speed record at the Bonneville Salt Flats on a motorcycle towing a trailer.
Wow.
And, but I had called a Unigo. It was a single wheel trailer. So it didn't dog leg. It tracked behind the motorcycle wheels. And it had a universal joint for a hitch. So when you lean the motorcycle, the trailer leaned also.
Oh, that's cool.
And, but the problem with it was so light. It only weighed, because you could wheel it right through your hotel room door. But when I got over 70 miles an hour, it would catch kind of a vortex off the back of my motorcycle and start wobbling. But in 2010, I rode to Alaska from Hot Springs, Arkansas, because every year in Hyder, we would ride, a group of us long distance riders, we would meet. It was called the Hyder Seek. And we would ride to Hyder, Alaska, which is mile 0 on the Alcan Highway, and we would meet for lunch. So people from all over the country would ride to Alaska, and we would do lunch, stay the night, and come home. So I rode from Hot Springs, Arkansas. That's when I was telling Dan about Calgary. This was in July, and there started snowing on me in Calgary. And it took me 2 days riding just to get to Calgary from Hot Springs, Arkansas. And, that was kind of a torturous ride. But on the way back from that trip, my mind always wanders when I'm on a motorcycle trip. And I was going to go through Salt Lake City, and I'd go, I never heard of anybody setting a land speed record on a motorcycle towing a trailer. So I went to Bonneville, and I got out in the flats, and some friends of mine met me from Salt Lake. Now this isn't official. It was more like a gag thing.
Sure.
But I did have witnesses. So I got up to 115 miles an hour, and then my motorcycle got into a wobble. So I only did one run. You're supposed to do 2 consecutive runs, but Yeah.
We'll give you
That's-
credit
that was-
for it.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is the local motorcycle dealership. I had a website at the time. It was before Facebook was popular. So they actually had me on their website with a link to my article. But the article that I wrote was kind of a glorified version. You know, it was more humor, satirical.
Right.
But yeah.
Sorry, I
The
just
salt
want to
flats
interrupt.
are weird.
I'm just going to interrupt
Oh,
real
go
quick
ahead.
and just say goodbye to Gerbs. I know he does such a good
Okay,
job
Hi,
being
Gerbs.
moderating and all that stuff. So I just want to say goodbye to him before I
Gerbs.
interrupt you, Mark.
Anyway, when you get on the salt, and especially in the morning, it's like a layer, and it cracks underneath your tires, and it kind of gives way. So if you're on a motorcycle, it's really kind of nerve-wracking until you get going, because you feel like you're going to fall over because the ground is just giving away underneath your wheels.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I dabbled with getting into motorcycle riding, and then out here in Nebraska, it's just so darn windy all the time. And then because of the winters, there's sand and gravel late into the season, and you can just feel it. You know, something wants to push you off the road, and there's not a whole lot of grip. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to do backpacking. So
Yeah, I used to
okay.
ride through Kansas, and they had near Hayes, Kansas. It was one place I always used to stop, and I don't know if there's more ugly people per capita there than most other places, but just riding there through the cornfields, because the roads are like elevated.
Yeah.
And actually the cornfields are down below. So you're like 6 feet above the cornfields with that wind, you know, and you're just like leaned over. And I would arrive at a destination with actually a worn spot on one side of my tire.
Yeah.
Leaning into.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it is super windy down in Kansas. Yeah, you're even the cars you got to turn into it pretty seriously, man. It is no joke.
Hmm.
Yeah. I guess since I'm on YouTube Live, I better wash my hands. I'll pretend to be civilized here.
What's the story on the ducks?
The geese, those are geese actually, and they're guard geese. So we've got a few chickens, and we'll get more as time goes. But after this last round where the economy just let us down, I'm like, that's it. We're getting chickens again. So we built a pretty fancy coop, and now we're like, okay, so let's get some guard geese so we can let the chickens free range. We're building a privacy fence. We got an old chain link that we're tearing down. It's just not safe enough for them. And besides, I want to get a new dog. And since we're going to get it from a rescue, they're going to inspect. So I'm like, yeah, let me tighten everything up. But anyway, guard geese. So now they're my babies. You know, as soon as I come walking in, they'll just follow me around. And I'm trying not to step on them. And man, they love to be held right now. So and yeah, they're cool. But
they'll imprint on you.
Yeah.
I saw this one guy, he's got one that he released, and it follows him to work. It flies right alongside his car. So
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
That'll be Johnny.
And it's funny, people used to say I'm not an animal person because back when I was working, I had too many responsibilities to like give animals a lot of time. But now I'm like, I love them to death. You know, it's like, oh yeah, not an animal person, guys. Ooh, you guys got to check these out.
Oh, dude.
Ooh.
I think we hit a home run right here. And let's put a little bit of sauce on those to let them have that nice sticky flavor. And we got some cornbread to go with it.
Yum.
Oh, here's another pet peeve of mine.
What's that?
Heat up your barbecue sauce. When you put sauce, heat up the sauce.
Yeah, it absorbs it better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to put cold meat on or cold sauce on a hot meat, especially if you're letting it rest.
Right. All right. Okay. Well, I didn't heat it up this time, but it won't be ideal, but it'll still be pretty good. There we go. How's that for some loving right there? Local Nebraska pork.
Man.
And this is maple chipotle glaze. Got this in Wisconsin Dells this last week. Oh yeah, they had a 9 million Scoville sauce, and they had the gummy bears and stuff like that. I almost got someone for Al Chafe. I was like, because apparently he likes hot sauce now.
9 million.
I tell you what, though, I developed a taste for hot things, and you get used to it, and then you get to the point where sometimes you crave it.
Yes, totally.
Then you eat it and you realize that's hot.
Yeah.
You'll get cravings once you kind of get used to the heat and the endorphins.
Yeah.
And the day after.
It had been a minute, so I'm in there like spoonful after spoonful of sauce. And so I'm getting into the Ghost and the Reaper sauces. I'm like, oh, I still don't like the flavor of ghost pepper. And then about 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh, yeah, there is heat. I forgot about that. And I could just feel the endorphins going and everything opened up. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. It does have a little kick. Just a little bit. But, hey, anybody want to do the one-chip challenge this year?
No, I didn't do it as a challenge. I just ate one and never
nasty.
again. That's when you get that high, that's not enjoyable.
It is one nasty chip. It's like eating cardboard with this terrible taste. It's hard to choke down. That's the hard part. Normally chips one after another. This one we're like, come on. And you're not allowed to drink anything to get it down because it's sticking to your mouth. It's not a great experience.
Watching Al's mouth bleed still lingers with me, so I don't think I'll join you, Johnny.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this time I won't be. I had been sick the day before, so my throat was raw. When I started coughing at about the 7-minute moment, I was like, "Go ahead and drink. You don't need to get sick in front of everybody." But yeah, that Al one, I'm like, it was like when he's bleeding and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of bad. That is not a good thing.
He must have cut himself on the chip. It's not going to make you bleed.
I don't know. It didn't look like a ton when I looked at the napkin, so I wouldn't be surprised at the capillaries.
It made good TV. That's all I know. Is it made good?
That's
TV.
Right. Yeah. And of course, Devil Dog. It's not that bad. And he's grabbing paper towels and splotting his head. Oh, it's not that bad. I'm like, right.
I have enough unaggravated stomach issues where I don't need to go and add literal fuel to the fire. So,
so you'll take a pass on that one.
Yeah, hard pass.
Yeah, me too. I like some heat, but I want to taste what I'm eating.
A couple of weeks ago, I did that ghost pepper noodle challenge with Jeff from Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah.
And those noodles actually tasted good.
Mm.
That's about as hot as I will go. I mean, that's pretty hot. That one was pretty hot. I wouldn't eat it.
That one, but I saw another video where you were doing it's supposed to be like a super hot noodle, like the ramen and stuff.
Yeah, the devil fire noodles. But
that sounds right.
Yeah, that wasn't. That was hot, but not as hot as that ghost pepper.
Okay.
So I don't know how they could claim they're the hottest ramen.
Sure. Do you like the flavor of ghost pepper?
I do. I make barbecue sauce with it. I made Eddie and Gary, Beltloot 29. Gary sent me peppers, so I made a ghost pepper, but it was kind of diluted down because he didn't send me that many ghost peppers.
Yeah. Hey, Franny.
But, yeah, I do like it in a barbecue sauce with mango, kind of a mango. Yeah, so I'll put mango and I just buy this. I start off with tomato sauce, but I buy this juice. It's Mexican juice. Comes in like a I don't know, about a 1 liter container of mango juice, and I mixed that in there for the sweet element.
Yeah, I like sweet heat. It's like there's that combination there. That's like I can keep coming back to it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, all right, Mark from Northwest? Do you like spicy food?
I like it to a point. I like about a medium spice.
Yeah.
I just want to taste what the food is. If I chicken wings, I want to taste chicken wings. I don't want to just taste.
Oh, right.
So
sure.
I tell you what, Mark, you might like that Tabasco. I've showed it in a couple of videos. It's Tabasco Sweet Hot, and it's about the level of regular Tabasco, but it's got that sweet and savory thing going for it, and man, it goes great on eggs. I think you would, with your palate, you would really like that.
Tabasco sweet and what is it?
Sweet and hot, sweet hot.
Sweet hot Tabasco. Sounds interesting.
Hey, Tabasco and eggs is a really good pairing. I like it.
I put Texas Pete on my eggs.
Yeah.
My kids got some chips that were some kind of hot chips, but they weren't like the burn your mouth 1 chip challenge thing. But they were, I think they were a ghost pepper. But they're nice enough to slow you down. Like I can crush a bag of Doritos like a boss. Right. So these ones were good because you'd literally have like a handful and be like, okay, cool. Like I'm good. I got to eat these. Like they moderate you because they're warm, but not enough to like, scorch your mouth or give you gut issues,
Oh, be nice, cats. What's your problem? Yeah, the jalapeno, was it jalapeno kettle chips? Those are the ones. Those are just enough heat. I don't know. There's something addicting about those. That's hard for me to slow down. And the jalapeno Cheetos, I can just like one after another. And I'm like, I think I'm good. And about 5 seconds later, I need another one. And another one. And so next thing you know, the whole bag is gone there. So in case you're wondering, the cats are giving me a hard time for being gone a week. So they're like, we want love too. You can't just pay attention to geese. So that's why I'm sitting on the kitchen floor right now. So
that's cool.
Hey, so Dan, what's next on the Sopaco menu?
Oh, dude, I'm done with those, man. I am so done with those. I wrapped the case. I ate everything that was. I'm not going to eat the duplicates, but I'm complete. I've eaten everyone. I'll consider that an accomplishment, and then I'll never move on. But I don't know. Like I feel bad throwing that stuff out, but I know.
Don't feel bad. It's garbage, and it needs to go to the garbage. Blow it up, shoot it, burn it, do something with. Make it. Have fun with it, man. Get one of those slingshots, water balloon slingshots, and just launch them or something. Trebuchet.
Oh gosh.
Well, so about a month or two ago, I can't remember, I sent Mike Kreischer, MKR, a case of unopened MREs from the early 90s.
That was fun watching him unbox those.
Yeah.
Man, that's some history there. Gosh, 90s. How is the 90s more than 20 years ago?
Yeah, I know.
That's supposed to be the future for me. Dear, you ready to eat?
Yeah, I gotta go get horses here.
Okay.
I should probably start now.
Okay.
It'll take me a minute.
Okay, so I got a few minutes while she's doing horses. So I'll hang out with you fellas for a bit longer if you'll have me.
Anyway, I hope if Mike tries them, it's not his demise.
I
feel bad.
I'm sure they're fine. They're just past their fresh date.
It's the best before, right? Doesn't mean you can't eat it. It's best before.
That's right.
I really enjoy Rock or Something reviews. I don't know if you guys watch his channel.
I don't think I know him. Yeah. See,
so he does MRE reviews, no face, headless, too, but he does a great job with the music and camera work.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of enjoyable to watch, and because you're not watching them open every single package and all that stuff. But creative guy, go check him out. I don't know if you can post his link, Dan. I discovered him through Dan.
Okay.
So,
I called him the Francis. I called him the Francis Ford Coppola of MRE reviews because the dude is like pouring in the drink mix into the water, and you could see the little granules falling down. And it's like beautifully filmed.
Yeah.
Now, there was one guy I was watching before I started watching Dan, and he'd get all the old World War I and II rations, and I mean original stuff. And he's like, as he's about gagging, he's like, "Oh, the things I do for you guys," and so I find it interesting to see what it used to be like. But my time is getting so short. I'm like, Dan, you're about one. You and Mark are the ones I'll watch for reviews. Otherwise, I'm like, as much as I like them, they ain't friends. So, I watch your torture sessions there, Dan. I feel bad for you, but it is much appreciated. It is entertaining.
Another YouTube channel that I like, it's called New England Fish and Wildlife. And he ate a can of 100-year-old corned beef.
Oh wow.
But he opens he's kind of got like kind of a poor man's laboratory, but he does reviews but old canned food from the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Wow.
I don't know how he gets this stuff, but
probably eBay or something.
But I kind of secretly wondered how many days he spent, in front of a toilet or something.
Oh yes. Yeah, oh man, turning green later.
There used to be a show on the History Channel, and it was called Eating History. I don't know if you guys ever seen that before, but it was like two dudes, and they would eat like old stuff, like what you were saying there, Mark. And their test would be they would eat something, and if it made their tongue and lips tingle, then they wouldn't eat any more of it. And I'm like, I'm not putting myself through that. Like, you gotta draw the line somewhere.
Right.
The way I learned to eat edibles was you smell it first.
Yeah. Smell it, nibble it.
Right. Well, not nibble it. Then you rub it on your skin. You wait.
That's right. Yeah, forgot about that.
Skin, wait for if that isn't, then just put it. Don't chew it, but just put a little bit of your mouth and wait. And if nothing bad happens, because the best thing is your nose.
Right.
Your nose is your first line of defense on something bad. But yeah.
There are a lot. Have you ever thought about all the foods you say, you find out that if it's not processed, it's poisonous? Well, poor old caveman Bob, he ate some rhubarb there without processing. He ate the wrong part of it, and he died, but found out if you eat this section of the stem, you can eat, but not the leaf, not so much, So I'm grateful people have already figured that out.
I always wondered about who was the first guy to discover poison oak wasn't good for toilet paper.
Right. Oh gosh. And of course, then not everybody is reactive to it. Well, it works fine for me. Why isn't it working for Bob? I don't know. Yeah. Oh man.
Do you guys have mullein plant?
Yeah.
They used to call that prairie toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's got nice.
Yeah, I need to do. I'd like to learn more about the plants around me. I just don't know how much time I got for it now. So,
I run into too.
Yeah,
I feel like you need a good guide to somebody who really knows their stuff to kind of show that to you.
It's kind of why I've been trying. That's why I've been trying to do the classes and at the gatherings. A lot of times they'll have somebody do the nature walks with you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was interesting, I went on a nature walk with one, instructor. Then I met up with another group, and I was showing them the videos. I'm like, I was wondering if it's the same one, and he goes, "No, that's Miss ID'd." I'm like, so who do I believe here?
Mm-hmm.
Who's right? I don't know.
Yeah, even if you have a book, like I question myself,
Mm-hmm.
Is that, okay, so is that a wild onion or is that the poisonous? There's something that looks like this poisonous.
Right. I don't know. I think hopefully you find somebody local that knows the stuff really well. You go to new territory, no way you're going to know it. No way.
And Johnny, you kind of want that guy next to you so you can make him eat it first. And it's just like if he's going to put his body on the line, then you kind of at least feel a little more
That's right.
comfortable taking that second bite.
Yeah, you got to have a slow friend, for the, and then you got to have somebody that's willing to eat anything.
Well, it would be easy with Mark. You just put bacon on it.
Oh, man.
I don't think it can kill you if you cook it in a cast iron pan with some bacon on it, right? It's got to be good for you then, right?
Yeah, cast iron has special properties. It leaches out all the toxins.
One of these days, I'm going to do a big old pork roll in honor of Mark there, where you like weave the bacon in and out, have like sausage inside and ham, and then wrap bacon around it, and just have this big old wonderful pork loaf.
Give it wings.
There you go.
Yeah, Mark, I can't believe you don't like onions, man. I'd love onions.
I haven't liked them my entire life.
Huh.
Even when you saute them up and stuff.
Sauteed, anyway. I mean, deep frying sometimes, but not a fan.
Because you get a good onion, they get sweet, and I don't know.
Well, how about Funyuns? Can you eat Funyuns? The chip?
I've eaten Funyuns, yeah. They're not bad.
They're not real onions, are they?
No.
They're
Like onion powder.
There's some highly processed, yeah.
They're made of corn. It's like a corn chip that's in a ring, and then they put onion powder on it.
Dang, they're good though, hey?
Yeah.
Sign me up. Sign me up
right.
for the Funyun challenge if you guys roll with one of
I'll
those.
do that. I'll do a Funyun challenge.
Oh man, put that on a burger with some barbecue sauce.
What I've done for breading is I get Lay's barbecue potato chips and crush them up and make a breading all of them.
Yeah.
That sounds really good, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, try it. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
And sorry, what do you use that breading for? Like on chicken or something, or what?
Like it's good like a pork chop.
Oh yeah.
When I cook my chicken breasts, I fillet it and I pound it because it looks, it's a kind of a teardrop shape.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of times when you cook a whole chicken breast, that tip gets done and hard
Totally.
Right.
right away. But if you take it and fillet it,
Right.
butterfly it, and then I pound it flat, so
Yeah.
everything's even.
Right.
It's quicker to cook, and it's going to be moister. So I'll just put a coating of flour, or just grind up. I put the chips in a food processor though to get them really fine.
Nice.
Go keto and grind up some barbecue flavored pork rinds. There you go.
I've done that. I did a video where I made pork rinds on chicken thighs and cooked it over the stove.
That's good keto. It goes good on shrimp.
It was good too.
Yeah, I'm craving some shrimp here soon. Do I do buffalo shrimp on a hike one of these days? I haven't done that one yet. Matter of fact, I think I just convinced myself, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm like, you can carry that out. I mean, you can cook anything on a day hike. It's the backpack when you got to dehydrate everything. That's the one that takes a little bit extra work. But
you can bring in a cold pack so to keep it chilled.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and especially if you take it out of the freezer, so it goes frozen, and even on a hot day, you're only talking a couple hours. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. So, buffalo shrimp. Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay.
Done.
Hey Dan, are you an affiliate of Right on Trek?
I did sign up for their program, but I'll be honest with you, Mark, I was pretty disappointed. I went down to, when we were down in Montana, I thought I was going to go check out their little facility that they had. And I was talking with the guy online about going back down and maybe shooting some footage of their facility. They have like a cool rental thing, right? Where you can rent like backpack equipment, hiking equipment stuff. I thought it would have been awesome. And then literally a couple days before he went down there, he said, I'm not with the company anymore. And I don't know what's going on with these guys. But they're not doing this program anymore. So I don't know if they're going through some flux, or maybe there's a And reading between the lines, I'm thinking like maybe they selling out or changing the ownership or something like that. But it seems like they're going through some stuff. But
Well,
yeah.
I still have like 3 more meals I want to try because I like their menu selection. Because I think what I have is it's like a rip off of the General Tso's
Mhm.
kind of. I can't remember if it's a chicken and rice or something like that. And I like the idea, but they use that eco packaging, which gives it a short shelf life.
Mhm.
And then I usually like to cook my dehydrated now in a pan anyway, just because I hate spending $12 for a meal and then have it not fully hydrate.
Oh, that's gross.
So if I'm camping, I just throw it in a pot anyway, so that doesn't bother me. But
Mhm.
Oh, if you guys are looking for something different, go to My Honey's Kitchen. I met
You know
this
what?
couple at a gathering. They're running like 8 or 9 freeze dryers all the time, and they're big on flavor. So, like, I had their stuffed bell peppers, which a lot of red bell peppers, and they use cauliflower rice, so it's keto friendly. But the seasoning was outstanding, and I had that one when I was at the NAV class. So we'd already done like 3 or 4 hikes, had about an hour to eat, so I sat down and ate. Man, it was really refreshing. I was good to go for that night nap. So My Honey's Kitchen, really good food stuff.
I went to their website and I put it in an order because I was going to do a couple videos on it, but they said they couldn't ship it to my area, and I
Really?
emailed them and they never responded. So
What?
yeah, I don't know if their website was having a glitch or something, but
where are they based?
Huh?
Where are they based?
Well, I met them down in Kansas, so I think they're out here Midwest, out in Missouri or Kansas or something. I'll have to look them up. But wow,
I wanted
why
to
wouldn't
try
they?
mac and cheese, and then I couldn't order it.
We have a place near here. It's Mormon owned. It's called the Bishop's Pantry.
Yeah.
And they used to get freeze dried food, and it came in huge barrels. And then you just go in we used to be able to go in with a number 10 can.
Mm-hmm.
You filled it up, and they had a sealer for the metal can.
Really?
Now, so you might want to look for those kind of things in your area. Now they don't allow people to can it. I'm sure somebody went in there and screwed something up.
Right. Yeah.
So they'll have it in bulk. You could buy it in bulk and then package it yourself, or you can buy it already in a number 10 can.
Huh.
But that one's called the Bishop's Pantry. And I knew back in California, it was called Desiree Industries. And that was Mormon run. But if you want to buy freeze dried in bulk, and I think a lot of people don't realize, you can tweak those meals.
Yes.
Because they're going to make them for the lowest common denominator. So
Right.
they're going to be bland and
Right.
be very generic. But yeah, don't be afraid to doctor those things up.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's why I always carry spice packets with me. I'm like, anybody that's raised kids knows it's like kids are terrible. They want the most bland food in the world.
Yeah.
So we would have food we cooked for the kids, and then later jazz it up for me because I'm like, Johnny wants flavor. Well, come on. Yes.
By the way, my honey's kitchen is Missouri.
Missouri.
What'd you say there, Mark, about My Honey's Kitchen?
Missouri is Gallatin, Missouri is what their website says.
Oh, okay.
Mike Crasher Review said he just got a freeze dryer and he set it up last night. That would be a fun thing to have.
That would be cool.
Well, Mark, maybe I can have it shipped here, and then I'll ship it some of that mac and cheese to you. I'll just play the middleman. How about that? Don't
worry about it.
Launder your mac and cheese.
Appreciate it, but you don't have to do that.
Well, I don't have to, but you're a friend, brother. I'm like,
I appreciate it. I'll pay for it.
If I can't send a mac and cheese to a friend, I mean, we're in a world of hurt, man.
I should go back and try their website again, maybe.
There you go. Maybe, I don't know. It's like,
I felt like
I'll prod them. Maybe I'll say, like, listen, Mark's a good dude. Hook him up. Hook a brother up. It's USPS here.
Yeah.
Ain't like we're going to Canada or nothing.
My dudes and I the other day tried that Peak Refuel biscuits and gravy that came in one of their battle boxes.
Oh, I love that one.
Holy smokes, it was good. It was so good. Super huge portions, and I was surprised that it actually had like I think 4 whole
Big
biscuits inside of it. It's crazy.
I like the fact too that it had a little crunch still
Mm-hmm.
after rehydrating.
Yeah, a little bit. That's good. Hey, you fiddle.
Soggy mess.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I see Mike Kreischer's in the house. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to add you in.
Yeah, I like to see Mike use that freeze dryer.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not cheap, but my understanding is they have a life to them.
Right. Yeah, I've asked a couple of people about it. There's minimal maintenance. You got to change the oil a little bit and stuff, but I tell you, it doesn't damage the proteins. You know, I've seen people take from a number 10 can pork chops that were 20 years old. They reconstitute them, put them next to regular fresh ones, and people couldn't tell the difference. You know, so it's tempting.
They have a cool candy store here in the city that brings in a lot of like imported candy from the States and other countries and stuff like that we can't typically get here. And they must have bought a freeze dryer for their store because they were freeze drying Skittles, which sounds super weird, but they would get kind of like poofy and explode a little bit and almost like they would kind of come apart like popcorn. But I mean, then you realize you're paying like $7 for like the equivalent of 12 Skittles, and it makes your heart hurt a little. But the dude's
Mark, there is a company I used to order from in Washington called the Epicenter.
Yeah.
Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I've been to their site.
Yeah, because they had all kinds of stuff. They sold freeze dried. I think they sold a freeze dryer for a while, but they get government overruns. So like they'll get accessories or entrees and things. So the shipping's expensive, but I used to just look for their specials. Yeah, My Honey's Kitchen.
Ooh, chicken pot pie.
There's Mike.
Hey, Mike. What's up? What's up, brother?
What's going on?
So here's the freeze dryer.
So
nice.
was that more than 2,000?
It was 2,800.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot of freeze drying to get your money's worth, man. I tell you, it's good stuff, though. So have you been experimenting with it?
I just did a loaf of bread last night. They tell you to do your first batch of bread to pull the new car smell out of it.
Okay.
So I'm going to do another loaf tomorrow night and then start experimenting with fruits and vegetables.
There you go. Tell you, some people did tomatoes. I was tasting as they just put your favorite seasoning on that and slice up some tomatoes or get cherry tomatoes. They come out really good. You put them in your mouth, and as soon as that moisture comes from the saliva hits it, flavor explosion. So you might that might be a good start out for you.
I just like drying tomatoes to make tomato powder.
Yeah.
And I take that camping instead of tomato paste. You know, you just use water.
Yeah.
A lot of room.
Absolutely. I did that to make some chili. Works out really well.
Yeah, I'm excited, Mike, to see all the stuff that you're gonna, put through that thing because I think that'll be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
You'll be able to step up your custom MKR rations game, hey?
That's right.
Yeah, the Skittles were the weirdest thing that I think I saw done in there, but I mean, I'm sure that really your imagination is the limit, right?
Why not, right? I mean, I don't know if you want to do freeze-dried soda, but if they have freeze-dried ice cream sandwiches, you can do about anything. Well, these guys, they did, what was it? Chocolate meringue pies right here and lemon meringue. Let's see, what is it? Onion chips, which are better than Funyuns. What is that? Yeah. Lemon cream pie. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, these guys, you can make just about anything. Just if you've got a creative mind, like, oh, what was it? Was it Mark? Did you do no, it was Harshman Hills that did. He added powdered cheese to his dehydrated ground beef. And I was talking to these guys about getting some powdered cheese, but here, I mean, they make chocolate cream pies, you know.
Wow.
There's only your imagination's your limit, you know.
Yeah, Mike can make astronaut ice cream.
I want to see you freeze dry like a little McDonald's cheeseburger or something. Like, do that.
Save it for 30 years and rehydrate it.
Oh, man.
I don't think you need to freeze dry it. There's enough preservatives in it. It'll do it itself.
Oh gosh, that's no lie. Now I was watching a show called Struggle Meals last night, and they gave him a challenge. They gave him a fast food hamburger and fries, and they're like, "What can you do to make it like a real meal?" And so he chopped up the hamburger meat, sautéed up some onions and tomatoes, and he made like a ragu sauce, and then he made gnocchi out of the French fries. And I'm like, so what do you think? Would that be an interesting challenge for us outdoorsy guys? Take some of our fast food restaurant and then try to cook up something different out in the woods? What kind of
Jazz it up.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Do you guys hear that?
I hear
Wow.
something.
That's a 17-year-old cat yelling at me right
Oh
now.
my gosh.
Let me go find her. Oh, man. She's mad. I think she's deaf too. Let's go find her.
So what do you figure you're going to do first, Mike, after the bread's done?
Strawberries and bananas.
Oh, yeah, strawberries, bananas.
Ooh.
Nice.
And I'm going to make them into a powder, and the kids will use them in their breakfast smoothies.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or just snack on them, yeah, whichever.
Dang, that's so good. Like the freeze-dried strawberries and bananas. Like I've bought that stuff before. So good.
Especially with strawberries being in season right now, too.
Yeah, good call.
I think it might be good. Make that banana powder into a paste and use it with the MRE peanut butter and crackers.
Ooh.
Have a little Elvis MRE.
See, that's Mark. That's some thinking right there. Oh man.
Well, I had the Elvis cookbook. It had all the stuff he ate with the recipes his cook wrote it. It's
Oh,
pretty
man.
interesting.
He must have had all of his favorites when he was in Vegas because that boy ballooned up.
Those dang buffets.
Yeah, well, he had his cook. He developed that peanut butter banana grilled peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Mm.
But it had a ton of butter. If you read the recipe, it's got butter on it. It's toasted. I mean, literally in a bath of butter, and then bacon. You put bacon on it too, but with the bananas and the peanut butter grilled.
Yeah, I'll put it away for Mark to react. Oh.
I think that's why he passed away in the toilet, though, my friends.
He was still waiting for the bacon to pass.
Well, he liked all the country or comfort food like meatloaf, spaghetti, meatballs, fried chicken was a big thing.
Oh yeah, I mean he was. What was he, Mississippi? I'm trying to remember. No, I mean I know his house is in Memphis, but he was a Southern boy, So bacon fat and everything.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I'm about ready for supper time. So I probably should drop down here. But how about that? I'll drop down, but I'll just kind of listen to you guys for a while. But I appreciate you letting me up, Dan. I really do.
Yeah, of course, Johnny. It's great to see you, buddy. I was wondering if you were going to eat those pork chops after you put in the work, so I hope you enjoy them.
Well, I'm just waiting for the missus, but I'm like, it's about time to prod her along. I'm like, hey, come on. The meat is well rested now. So I think I'll slice it up here. So, anyway, fellas, I'll talk to y'all later. All right, take care now.
Gotcha. See you later, buddy.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Mike something, but then slipped my mind because he had a French MRE the other day. That's one I watched.
Oh, that was a good one too.
Yeah, I love the French ones. Have you done a Singapore?
I have not. I recently received a Brazil ration.
Okay.
Cool.
Ooh.
It's a hefty boy.
I was trying to get Japanese Self-Defense Force rations, and I did a review on some components.
Has he got one up in his tickle trunk of rations?
But I paid an arm and a leg just for an entree and a side, or 2 entrees. Can't see it there. All right. So is that a whole meal?
It is.
What did that cost? That must have cost an arm and a leg.
It wasn't bad. I actually got it off of MRE Info. And here is a Chinese. Let me figure out my camera here.
I've done a couple of Chinese. I like them.
The infamous ration wall.
Oh yeah, it just keeps getting bigger. And I finally, 5th tries a charm. I finally got a Danish ration without getting busted open by customs.
Oh, that's so disappointing when your rations got all robbed out by the customs guys, hey?
$300 later, and I finally got one unmolested.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I ordered foie gras from France, and they took that out. I wasn't too happy because I bought it through Amazon, and I thought that, something through that. But the guy gave me a refund, so I got my money back.
Why is that? Anyways, is it just like certain components aren't allowed to come in the country?
Well, it was a big deal after the hoof and mouth
okay.
and swine flu. So beef, like things with beef. But I think they laxed up on it, but I don't see why anything, because they have higher standards in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
even
it's
Canada does.
And customs has just started hitting hard again here within the last 6 months. It's getting unreal. So I've kind of tried to lay low, but obviously I wasn't laying too low because I tried this 5 times.
Oh, that's so brutal.
So
it is what it is.
Yeah, did they just remove components, or they just busted them?
Yeah,
up?
they removed the beef jerky and the 2 main meals. It was a 24-hour MRE, and they took the 2 meals with meat in it. So all I got was the breakfast muesli and all the snacks and drinks.
That seems weird to take like a dried cured product like beef jerky out.
Right.
Like I don't think any bacteria could survive. I mean, it can go bad, but yeah.
Freaking rules.
And it literally looked like your boxes got opened by some guy with a chainsaw. Like they were not kind to how they
No, they never are. They got the rustiest knife they can find.
God.
Yeah, I thought I had one that was open. Maybe not.
Oh, I remember what I was going to ask Mike. I've been trying to find. They came out with it a few years ago. It was called Hamburger in a Can.
Mm-hmm.
And it came with a bun.
Yep, I reviewed one a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's when I saw your video I tried to find it again, but I just didn't have any luck.
Yeah, it's made by a German company, and they're hard to find. I actually got one from another fella in the ration community. He had a couple laying around and sent one to me, and
So you're hooked up with the black market MRE.
Oh yeah.
The dark web.
The dark web of rations.
Yeah, a lot of packages come to Mike's house that are labeled as shoes, but are actually just filled with contraband.
Camping goods. Gifts.
Camping goods.
That's why customs has them flagged.
Yeah.
they
It
probably have.
depends on where they come in at. Every time I have something come through Chicago, it always gets hacked apart.
Really?
This last one came through New York, and it actually made its way through. But yeah,
Maybe you have a subscriber in customs.
hey, maybe start sending everything through New York.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it's got to be disappointing though, dude. Like when you're buying something and it's not cheap, and then you're waiting on it for however long, and then it comes apart all hacked up and missing things.
Oh yeah.
Well, I buy some of them on eBay. I haven't done too many MRE reviews lately, but the shipping is what gets you.
Mm-hmm.
It's $1 for the MRA, but it's 150 shipping.
There's one of the Danish ones that has been hacked apart. But it's still a decent meal in there. I mean, you got plenty of snacks.
Mm.
You just
Well, I know
missing
a
out
lot
on.
of the NATO ones have similar components.
Mm-hmm.
So they must be getting them from probably the U.S. sometimes. I think they get like their nuts, mixed nuts and things. I've seen U.S. markings on them.
Mm. What do you got coming up, Mike, that you're reviewing? You got any teasers for us or spoilers or?
I'm not quite sure what I'm doing this week yet. Who knows? Maybe I'll make my way north of the border.
Oh,
Do a little
Canada.
Canadian LMC.
Are those the ones that are just filled with Kool-Aid powder and gummy candies?
And beef jerky, yeah, they're the light meal combat. Or we've got the big ones back here.
Ooh,
Got a pizza pasta, sausage and hash browns.
nice.
But yeah, I'm not sure yet.
Nice. You want any Sapaco ones? You want to trade these on some Sapaco ones?
Nope.
Maybe we can screw with your customs guy. We'll send him some of that shit to eat.
You can throw them in my dumpster. My cats might eat them.
Oh man.
Hey, Dad, how many watch hours are you? How many do you need left?
I think about 300, maybe something like that. What is it? I always think it's a little delayed. It says right now I'm at 3694. 7, 8, 9. Yes, it's 300.
I think it refreshes every month. Is the deal?
Yeah. Yeah, and I notice some days I click on it and I'm a few hours up, and the next day I'm a few hours down and a few hours up. So it just kind of balances out, but making a little bit of progress, getting closer.
How do you find your watch hours? Is it under your analytics?
I think so. I just honestly use the studio app.
Just go to your channel dashboard, and I know on my phone it has a monthly report that you can view. But yeah, you just go to analytics and see I'm on it now.
No, I never even look.
Yeah, go to analytics and
I think there's the monetization tab, a little $ tab thing that you can click on, and it will show you your progress.
see I'm on an overview. So yeah. I don't know. I'm on the PC now, which is different from the phone. So you can go to analytics and you'll see. What did I just hit?
It's
Anyway,
on Studio. Scroll down. It's under Earn, and if you click on Earn, it shows you the progress towards the 4,000 as a little line graph.
Oh.
All right, Dan, I don't know if you can zoom in on the camera. Let's see here.
Yeah, man. I'll pin you here.
So on the phone, as soon as you open up Studio, it has your watch hours here. Let me see. Everything's backwards here. Watch time hours. So it's right on. If you have the phone app, it's right on the first page. All right, that's good. We don't want to scare your.
Now I'm gonna pin you forever into the center Hollywood Square. How do I undo that? Boom. Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny like I said, you start to get a little bit of progress. I wanted to try to hit it before the end of May, just because I know I had a few videos that came out last year, like when I got that tent and did initial review on it. That one kind of garnered a lot of watch hours, and so I wanted to try to hit it before those. It's a rolling year, right? So ideally, want to try to hit it before those previous watch hours fade away. But I mean, it is what it is. We'll get there when we get there. If I just let this live stream run for another 300 hours, it'll be boom. Smooth sailing.
Then the work begins.
I wonder if anyone's actually done that. Just left her like 24 hours or going to sleep, eating, and everything.
I think Johnny was pretty close when he did his. I mean, I think it gave him some severe, I mean, he was pretty spent, I think, after doing his 24-hour live.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
You know, videos that are pretty popular that people make money and they don't even use the videos. They do those sleep ambience. You ever watch those to help you get to sleep with white noise? And they'll make a video. They'll just get images, copyright-free images, stitch them together with music, copyright-free music, kind of white noise stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're anywhere from an hour to 24 hours long. But it's surprised because I use them sometimes. If I take a midday nap, I'll put one on, of a shoreline. It's the waves beating against the beach. But then you fall asleep and this video's running. Yeah. But you'd be surprised how many people watch those things.
Well, I thought I was real clever at Christmas time when I did the fire log in the fireplace, and I let the fire run and filmed it for whatever hour. The first take, I had the camera too close to the fire, so it overheated the camera, and then I went back. It was like fatal error on my phone because it was literally cooking it. And then so I did a second cut of it, and like I said, I thought it was a good idea until I tried to upload it in 4K, and then it's like an hour-long video in 4K, so it took like 9 hours or something stupid to upload. So it was fun to do. I think I might do something like that again next year and just kind of make a little running gag of it, of different fire styles for Christmas. So maybe I'll do a dumpster fire or a backyard fire or something, little snow in the background or something there, just for some festive ambiance. We'll see.
I do first person view in public restrooms.
First person view of public restrooms. There you go. That might get me in jail though, right?
Well, don't, be careful where you're pointing the camera. You could just, show the floor tiles and your feet.
Oh my gosh. That's
well, I think I'm going to call it too. I got to clean up. So, yeah. Hey, good to see you, Mike. Talk to you in person. Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this Dan is first time I've come up on one of your lives.
I think so. Yeah, we've chatted a lot through the comments, but yeah, no, I think this is the first time you're up on the panel, and also, Washington, Mark. I think this is our first time connecting in this way too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've seen Mark in the chat rooms online, but I don't think I've ever talked to Rick. I still haven't got one of his channel stickers. Apparently, he has a problem.
The mail just keeps sending them back. I don't get it. I wrote the address down exactly as your about section, and it still comes back.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. Well,
I guess I could try again, but
I guess I'll never get an Eat Carbs Outdoor sticker after I've been subscribed to your channel for how many years now?
Sorry, man. Years? Blame the post office.
Yeah.
Just funnel them
postal workers.
funnel them through the black market mailbox of Mike Crasher reviews. Maybe that's what we gotta do.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll just drop it in an MRE bag and send
Yeah,
it.
drop ship it. All right, guys. Good to see
Later,
you.
Mark. Take it easy, brother.
Everybody-
Later, Mark.
All right, take care.
Mark is just the most interesting.
Huh?
So funny, like his stories and. Oh, I was just saying. Well, you're also a very interesting person, also, Mark. But I was just saying, Mark Kratz is like the stories that he has and the stuff he's done. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he could be my like. I don't know if Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is still a thing, but I would say if I had a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire phone a friend, it would definitely have to be him because he's just like
Your
so
lifeline.
knowledgeable in everything.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you plan for the weekend coming up? Anything fun?
I'm hoping to get out to the woods this weekend. So I need to get my truck going first. I need to. That's priority. Then maybe I'll go out in the woods. Just gotta check that fuse, which I'll do tomorrow.
Yeah.
So knock on wood.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Yeah, I'm with you. Hopefully it works out for you.
Yeah,
What about
thanks.
you,
Me
Mike?
too.
Just freeze drying and everything?
Gonna do some freeze drying. I got a graduation party for my niece on Saturday, and then I'm gonna eat a ration out of a bag on Sunday and something. Just not sure what.
Love it.
The foreign ones normally gather more content, so I did a 24-hour French one last week, and that one didn't do too bad. So I might grab another 24-hour and see how much I can shovel into my mouth.
Sounds
wait
like a
and
hell of
see.
a good day. Sounds like a good day.
Oh yeah.
Nice. We got some, I guess, renos going on. At Easter time, we had our dishwasher leak and caused a bunch of floor damage to our floor. And yeah, it was a pain in the ass. So shortly after, we had the insurance company come out and their emergency reno ripped out a big chunk of the floor. And so we've been kind of tiptoeing around that for almost the last month. But we finally have someone coming out starting tomorrow doing the demos. So we have to move all of our stuff from the kitchen and move it to other parts of the house. So I'm just knocking on wood that it's done as quick as they're saying. They're saying by like Tuesday the new floor should be in. So it'll be nice to, like I said, have the house back to normal. Well, not really normal because I got to hang everything back up and put everything back up and hang up curtain rods because they took asbestos samples and cut freaking holes in the walls to do asbestos samples. It was like a nightmare, dude. You know.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it. No outdoorsy stuff for me. I don't think this week. Want to try to get the trailer ready for the family camp and stuff, and it's pretty much ready. But I still gotta check the air and the tires and put some stuff back in the trailer and all that good stuff, and then hopefully get her out on the road once or twice here in June.
Nice. I got a camping trip coming up in 2 weekends.
Nice.
Heading to the state park for a weekend with the family.
Father's Day.
The week before.
Nice.
Be the week of the 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8th
It's a run-
through 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah, that weekend.
Nice. Yeah. We have one the weekend after Father's Day, but we'll probably book something in Father's Day. It's a running joke around here that every Father's Day I spend emptying the poop tanks on the way home. So I feel like it's just got to be the way it is. It's got to be the way it is. Yeah.
As long as you don't get a bath, you're doing a good job.
That's not the bath you want. Not the bath you want.
I
Yeah.
had that awful bath one time.
Oh gosh.
Always check the levers.
I did it once too, where it spilled all over the ground, and I was like, what do I do? It's like the awkward moment of like trying to hose it down. Let's just leave quickly.
At least yours hit the ground. I wore it.
Not a treat. No. Yeah. Anyways, I think I probably should wrap it up too. I don't know if you can hear, but I got a dog freaking out upstairs, scratching away. Better go deal with him. But yeah, I'll probably wrap it up too, guys. But I thank you guys for dropping in. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
It's always a treat. Mike, I appreciate you coming in. You're a regular around here. You always got a warm seat. And Mark, the door is always open as well. So it's nice to see you here as well. I guess I kind of, you know, I don't know if you guys want to drop any information. I don't know if anyone watches these replays at all, but I guess if they do, check out Mike Crasher Reviews if you're interested in like all sorts of food reviews from around the world. Soon to be a lot of do-it-yourself. What do you call it again? Not
Freeze drying.
Freeze drying and reviewing and all sorts of good stuff. And if you haven't checked out Eat, I always want to say Eats Carbs Outdoors, but that's too many S's. Eat Carbs Outdoors.
Yeah.
A lot of good cast iron cooking and outdoor adventures and hikes and gear reviews and all sorts of good stuff on Mark's channel too. So if anyone else is checking into the replay or still here, definitely check out those guys. And gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm giving you the big thank you hands. Appreciate you chopping in.
Appreciate it.
But I got to end with my shtick, boys. Like it feels like I always got to end with my shtick. And it's funny because when I end with the way I start, I don't know how annoying that is. But even when I start to go off that, I look at my kids and they'll often be able to mouth the words already too. So might as well finish as we always do. As always, everybody, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for joining in. And if for some crazy reason this was your first time here and you like outdoor adventure videos, gear reviews, and other outdoor related stuff, well, please hit that subscribe, the like, and the bell notification button so you don't miss anything. And until next time, we'll see you outdoors. Bye, my friends. Thank you, everybody. And we'll chat to you all soon. Take it easy.
Peace out.